Hello everyone, welcome back to another rendition of Spinning Yarn and Spilling the Tea. So on Instagram, I asked everyone to send me their hot takes and their unpopular opinions, and you guys did not disappoint. Yeah, let's get into it. Of course, I got a lot of hot takes about fiber and crochet. A lot of knitting is better than crochet. Crochet is better than knitting. And here's the thing. Why does it have to be a competition? Why does one have to be better than the other? I think that some of my most favorite pieces that I've ever seen are people actually mixing crochet and knit together. I feel like crochet is a little bit more like of a free-flowing element, where I feel like knitting, there's kind of like hard rules. Or maybe I'm just like not good enough at knitting yet. Granny squares are kind of ugly. First of all, how dare you? But second of all, you're not wrong, because granny squares can be ugly, and this brings me to like another topic of people not understanding color theory or just like choosing like really ugly colors for their crochet pieces. So I think that if you choose really ugly colors, then yeah, granny squares can look ugly and tacky, but I think if you make good color choices, granny squares look timeless and beautiful, and it looks like you put in a lot of work and effort to like make a cool design when like really you just made a granny square. So I love a granny square, and how dare you? This next one says, knitting is easier than crochet. I've done both and I find it way more easy to follow a knit pattern, plus knitting takes up way less yarn. It doesn't really matter if you knit or crochet, you're buying the same amount of yarn, because we all have a yarn shopping addiction. So I got one that says, magic circles aren't that hard. And yeah, they aren't hard once you learn how to do something. Once you learn how to do something, it typically becomes easy to do. This next one says, acrylic yarn is the best yarn. I mean, specifically on the internet, because I feel like people in real life really don't care, but I feel like a lot of people hate on whatever yarn someone is using, because if you're just starting a hobby and maybe you don't want to like totally invest in said hobby because you don't know if you like it or not, you're not going to want to buy like a $20 skein of yarn. Acrylic yarn is not what's like filling landfills. It's like fast fashion and single-use plastics are what are filling up the landfills. So like, don't hate on people for using acrylic yarn, and if you like using acrylic yarn, that's great, it's yarn. On the topic of yarn and different types of yarn, I can't understand people that are against animal fibers. Just don't buy it at cheap websites. I could have a 20-minute rant about this subject. I am a farmer, I raise fiber animals, I've met so many farmers, so many fiber artists that raise their own animals, and from my perspective, every person that I've met loves their animals, takes great care of their animals, and is very passionate about their animals and the well-being of their animals, which is, I think, the crux of the argument, is that some of these fiber animals are being abused, or there's so much fiber farming propaganda out there that, you know, harvesting the fiber harms the animal, which is just not true. I mean, I'm sure there are some horrible people out there, that there always are, but from my perspective, from the people that I've met in the fiber industry and the fiber farming industry, they treat their animals, you know, with the utmost respect. And also, shearing an animal, it's just like shaving your legs. You're just shaving them. You're not skinning them. But I think it just kind of goes to show, it's really important to know not only where your yarn is coming from, but where your clothes come from and where your food comes from. It feels really good to know that whatever animal you're using for yarn or for, you know, consumption, that they lived a great life. And I think it's really cool that I can sit here and say, hey, this sheep is from Midge, and I'm gonna turn her fiber into yarn, and she's hanging out in my barn right now, living her best little sheep life, you know? Now that I've talked about ethical consumerism, I think it's time to move on to some lighter topics. Let's talk about fashion. Kitten heels are overrated. They are uncomfortable and don't even make you look taller. Maybe kitten heels aren't for you. I think kitten heels are for like a tall girly who wants to wear a heel and feel feminine but doesn't want to like tower over people, which like that I totally understand. I also agree with you that kitten heels are not comfortable, and it's so funny because they're so in fashion right now, and I was just consuming so much like fashion week content on Instagram and YouTube, and like I can just see everyone's wearing kitten heels and they all look so uncomfortable. Like I can just see the look in their eyes that like they're not having a good time in that shoe. And also, ever since I started farming, I've really stopped wearing heels. I like a wedge and I like a platform, because honestly, it doesn't matter how nice the shoe is. I'm walking around in the chicken coop wearing that shoe. So, but that's a me problem, I guess, not a you problem. Skinny jeans actually look great if styled correctly. And I totally agree with that. I mean, it's just like styling leggings. Like, skinny jeans are gonna look cute if you wear a button-down shirt and like an oversized sweater, duh. Wide-legged pants are kind of on trend right now, but if you don't look good in a wide-legged pant and it like swallows you whole, girl, go for the skinny jean. If what's on trend isn't suiting you and making you feel beautiful, then don't do it. Don't listen to these weirdos on the TikTok. No, but listen to me. Fabric on some of the textured knit designs coming out this fall remind me of carpet in the 90s. And to that I have to say, what is wrong with a 90s carpet? What's wrong with looking like a 90s carpet? I regularly look like a grandma's couch. So, is that a bad thing? Okay, we also have some food hot takes. Number one, I don't like a Starbucks pumpkin spice latte. Okay, let's get deep for a second, because I feel like they changed the recipe. Something doesn't taste right. Something is happening. Someone changed the Starbucks recipe. But I do have to say, and I guess this is like East Coast, New Jersey specific, but the Wawa pumpkin spice latte is like kind of amazing. Same thing with Dunkin' Donuts. Something's going on, Starbucks. Something's happening. And I think we need to do a full-blown investigation because I don't think it's right. McDonald's fries are nasty. McDonald's French fries are for the car. If you go into the drive-thru and you order French fries, you are eating those French fries on the car ride home. And once I get home and I still have some fries left over, it doesn't taste the same. I don't know what happens when I leave the car, but they don't taste the same when I get outside of the car. You gotta eat those bad boys hot and fresh out of the greasy fryer to line your arteries with grease before you go in for the Big Mac. I don't like when there's crystal salt on baked goods. You know, I'm not gonna yuck your yum, but personally, I love salt. I will get a margarita just so I can get the salt off of the rim of the glass. Like, I am a salt girl. I love all different kinds of salts, different textures of salt. So I appreciate a little flaky salt on a little caramel truffle situation. Last food one. White cheddar grilled cheese, it's better than yellow cheddar grilled cheese. I feel like yellow cheddar is like kind of overdone, and I just feel like white cheddar is where it's at. I feel like white cheddar is like almost Parmesan, like it wants to be Parmesan, but like it's not. It's like a softer Parmesan. So I agree with you. I'm into the white cheddar. I do think yellow cheddar is like kind of overrated. White cheddar mac and cheese from Annie's? Yeah, so good. So good. Okay, this is done. Let's move on to pop culture. I got a lot of Taylor Swift hate. Like a lot of Taylor Swift hate. Oh no, my tension isn't right. My tension isn't right. Taylor Swift is not iconic. Taylor Swift is overhyped. Taylor Swift songs are all identical. And no Taylor Swift love, by the way. I have not hit the Swifties yet. The Swifties has not discovered me. I don't really identify as a Swiftie myself. But here's what I'll say in defense of Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift is a girl's girl. Taylor Swift is here for the girlies, and I enjoy that about her. I think that the media is just maybe a little oversaturated with her because she's so polarizing, and I guess all of the articles about her probably do well analytically because of her, you know, cult-like following. What I do find very interesting about Taylor Swift is her lore. If you know me, I love lore. Doesn't matter what it is. Star Wars, superheroes, Game of Thrones. It could be from books or movies or TV shows that I've never even read or watched. I will read lore. I will watch videos about the lore. I love lore, okay? What's very interesting about Taylor Swift is that she has her own lore. She has created her own Taylor Swift universe. And like that's very cool and interesting. And I feel like that's why I'm interested in Taylor Swift. I can't say that I'm like a Swiftie or like a huge fan. I mean, some of her songs are bops, some are not. I mean, not every single song that Queen put out is a bop either. Wow, I can't believe I'm defending Taylor Swift right now. I never really thought I'd be put in this position. That's all I have to say about Taylor Swift. Case closed. I also got something about Beyonce too. Beyonce is also overrated. It's Beyonce's world. We are literally just living in it. Like, I am an NPC compared to Beyonce. Beyonce's queen, Beyonce's mother. Beyonce will literally go down in the history book. She is one of the most iconic and most famous people that will ever live ever. That's how I feel about Beyonce. She's also a Virgo, okay? So I identify with that. But I also just think, like, with her Renaissance tour, she's also just, like, oversaturated in the media, and I understand that people are just kind of, like, over some celebrities who are just in the media all the time, especially when they have these huge concerts and tours, and finally we can go out and party and go to concerts and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I just feel like they're oversaturated in the media, and that's why people are kind of over them. So, like, I don't fault you for thinking Beyonce is kind of overrated. Beehive, don't come for me. I love Beyonce, okay? Again, I'm terrified of Beyonce stans, and I'm also terrified of Taylor Swift stans. They're so scary, especially on the internet. All right, people, well, it's getting dark, and I do have to put my chickens away. But thank you so much for sending me your hot takes and unpopular opinions. I feel like I got to talk about so many things that I'm passionate about, like McDonald's French fries and pumpkin spice lattes and ethical consumerism. We covered a lot of ground here today. I also spun so much yarn. Look at all this yarn that I spun. Love being productive and talking smack at the same time. If you liked this video, make sure to subscribe, leave a comment down below about your thoughts and your feelings and your opinions. I would love to hear them. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. Nope, I hated that. How do you say bye in a way that doesn't sound fake and phony?
That doesn't sound phony? See you bitches later.
See you bitches later. Okay, you can stop it.